What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda, back. What's up, Amanda?
Hey, hey. So I know Alex always talk about how he owns Thursday nights, but I just gotta say my Rams pick really came through there.
2 weeks in a row for me. Picked the Packers over Detroit. That didn't work out, and
Oh.
now,
Well, I picked him too, so I don't even get to
yeah.
brag about that one.
But I can't exactly say I own Thursday Night Football anymore. Based on
No.
I can't get my issue. I do fine on Sunday. It's the prime time, Sunday night, Monday night,
Yeah.
Thursday night. I've been struggling at those,
Well, I'm the
especially.
opposite. Like Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings are what get me. Like I'll get some of those picks wrong, but then like after
Yeah.
after the 10 o'clock games are done, like my picks are perfect almost every week. Like it's rare for me to get like a Sunday night football wrong.
I know I've always got a two-game lead going into the afternoon, and then here comes
Hello.
Amanda wiping out my lead.
So
But
it's 24 points, 24 games lead if we count last night. So
I
Alex
hate it.
Alex is it's rough, guys. Send him a Christmas present. He's sad.
Maybe I can get it down to 12 by the end of the season.
Just gonna pick every game opposite.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, let's talk about how surprised were you that Bill Belichick has agreed to become the North Carolina football head coach? That's pretty crazy, huh?
Well, I know people were talking about him going to Chicago and stuff, and my thing was he seemed happy doing other things.
He was
I
really
feel
good
like,
at the
yeah,
media
I
stuff.
like seeing his personality on broadcasting and stuff. I think he's fun. Like, which I
Yeah.
mean, he was a brick before. Like he was completely stoic. I just think he's done the NFL. Like, what else could he do in the NFL that would be interesting? Like, I can't see him wanting to come back, but him going to college makes sense. Like something new.
Yeah, fresh challenge.
Yeah, because he has
Yeah,
the
and
talent, but I just feel like it's going to be interesting
well,
because UNC is not really a school I would have picked for him to go to. Like that wouldn't have been
so
my guess.
I think he's got some history with North Carolina with his
Mhm.
dad. I think, they have some ties to North Carolina, and North Carolina has the potential to be a really good football school. They just need to put it all together.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it'll be a good fit. I think it'll be really fun to watch because I mean we saw the Harbaugh experience with Michigan winning the championship and now back in the NFL and now we've got Colorado doing their thing. So I think it'll
yeah.
be fun to have some more colleges kind of in the mix with these big name head coaches.
Yeah, and with the NIL stuff and the new
Mhm.
playoffs, it's a different game now. So I think these
Absolutely.
guys can transition to that game. And I think he'll be successful. So we wish him the best at North Carolina. Let's get into last night's game. The 7-6 Rams at the 6-7 49ers. Rainy in San Francisco, and we got low scoring after the Rams shootout win over the Bills. 86 combined points. We get 18 combined points, a 12-6 win, field goal fest in San Francisco. How surprised were you with the result of this game?
I mean, I picked the Rams to win, and I had made a joke before the game, and I was like, well, it's either going to be a blowout or both defenses are going to show up because both of these teams have solid defenses.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be the only game of the entire NFL season without a touchdown, but um, it was it was interesting. Shout out to kickers making field goals. That was a nice change. We've had
Yeah.
a lot of those issues. Can you imagine if one of their kickers just missed all the field goals in this game? Like 12-0. Like it was the best performance we've seen of two kickers so far this season. I'm just making that up. Don't quote me on that. But we've had so many issues with kickers missing. And this game, I mean, how
All
many field
season.
eight
Yeah, it was
field goals in
nice
this game?
in the driving rain too, and they're actually like making them.
Six field
I
goals.
could
Sorry, math.
If anyone's gonna miss two, the Rams kicker should have missed two, and we should have had a 6-6 tie. That would have been fun.
I had to look him up. I was like, who is like what's his longest? Like I didn't know any of his stats. He seems solid.
Rookie out of Stanford, so it was kind of
Stanford,
a
yep.
going home game.
I
Yeah,
think his longest this season is 57, but four field goals for him. Good.
solid kicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that stood out to me watching this game is Brock Purdy struggled. Like he
He
did
did.
not look good. He was missing. He was underthrowing a lot of balls. He underthrew. He had Ricky Pearsall for a touchdown late. Underthrew him. He had And then the worst throw of the night, in my opinion, was they were down 3. It's 9-6, and they're driving. They're at like the 33-yard line, and Purdy forces the ball deep into double coverage and gets picked off in the end zone. Like, what are you doing there?
That one was so bad. The
Yeah,
coverage on that, like I can't believe he threw that one. Like I saw that and I said, "Oh, they're gonna pick this." Like before
yeah,
he'd even let the ball go, I could see where it was going, and I was like, "Nope, that's done." Um, I feel like he was getting a little flustered. Like the whole 49ers, it seems like there's a lot of behind the scenes tension and stuff going on. And then, the news story that came out about Devontae Campbell not wanting to go into the game, like
yeah.
I wanted more for this 49ers team, and they've been so close to winning it that up until this season, like it was always like, oh, maybe next year, like we're this close. But this season, I don't see it. I can't get on the hype train. Like I think that window is closed.
Yeah, and you can only go on those deep playoff Super Bowl runs so many times before it just is too exhausting and you
Mhm.
wear down and the you lose the team chemistry and you got to kind of start over or readjust the roster. And I just think this one's kind of coming to an end. So much.
What did you think about the O-line not holding up long enough to get a Hail Mary pass off at the end?
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do if you're the Rams. And Chris
Yeah, but
Shula is
ew,
you're
like
supposed to send 5 and at least have a semblance of a pass rush. That's what my Bears didn't do against the Commanders. They only sent 3 and dropped everyone else back. Um, good
I think
job by the Rams
it
of
would have
getting
been
through.
fun. My dream for this game would have been a Hail Mary and then a missed extra point. Like give me some extra football. Like if we're just kicking field goals, I should get overtime. Like this, if I'm gonna sit here and watch this,
Yeah.
no touchdowns, give me some OT at least.
Well, Debo tried. He had a big kick return, got the horse collar on top of it.
He did.
Um,
And then
but
had a big drop or two also. Debo was having a rough time lately.
yes, he's been really struggling. What he's had he's been held under 40 combined yards in 5 straight games. Just 19 combined yards last night and a big drop. So he's not, the guy that, and of all times that you need him is now with Ayuk out with all the injuries.
Yeah,
And
it's his time to shine, but I feel like so much more focus is on him as far as the defense is because there's no one else for them to go to.
yeah, and then what wasn't he complaining about not getting enough targets the
Hmm.
week before?
And then he
So
dropped one.
he's got to
That would have
stop.
been a touchdown. Like I swear, if he had caught that, like it
Yeah.
just out of his
Yeah,
hands.
it was
Like
terrible. Third and long would have been at least a first down, and he
that
just
was
dropped it.
that was rough.
But yeah, the Niners. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy after watching him this season? I haven't been super impressed, and last night I was very unimpressed. He was bad. He was, in my opinion, the reason they lost the game. Would you, what are your thoughts on him long term? I tweeted last night. I was like, the Niners need a quarterback. Like,
I mean, he's 10th in the league in yards, ninth in QBR. Like he's not that bad. Like he's still like
yeah, he
starting
was last
quarterback.
night, but overall,
Yeah.
no.
Like starting quarterback material. He had a rough night, but we've seen other good quarterbacks have a rough night.
Yeah, in the
Um,
rain.
I think if he can bounce back from it next week, then people will stop the conversation about it. But he's gone through cycles throughout his career of like, oh, he's a system quarterback. They could plug anyone in there. Like he's not good enough to be the quarterback of a Super Bowl team. And then, he silences them for a while and then it comes back up.
Yeah.
And this is a rough game for him. I think, the rain and the tensions in the locker room. I mean, you have players not going on the field, like refusing to play the game from the sideline. Like there's a lot going on there. So I want to see what happens this coming week. I want to see, do they bounce back? Is there any recovery as far as morale and his focus?
Yeah, and on top of it, what makes that loss so much worse is that was like the season on the line. That loss pretty much is the nail in the coffin for San Francisco. You're going to miss the playoffs. So that's what has everyone,
Yeah.
uh, really blaming Purdy and everything. And that makes what Devondre Campbell look even worse. And to me, when you see something like Devondre Campbell refusing to come in the game and quitting on his team, quitting on his teammates, his coaching staff, the fans, the organization, you automatically think there's a locker room issue. Like he can't be the only player feeling this way, right? There's got to be some hard feelings. But the reaction was really unified. Kyle Shanahan's response to it, George Kittle,
Yeah.
Charvarius Ward, they're all like, no, you can't have that. I don't want him on my team. Kyle Shanahan said, when someone says that, you move on. We don't even need to talk about him anymore.
Yep.
Charvarius Ward says he's probably going to be cut soon. George Kittle was like, I don't want to play with a guy like that on my team ever again. Like that, those are some damning quotes.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't been let go. I'm sure there's
Yeah,
some contract stuff they need to work out as far as offloading, but yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
somebody. I mean, he needs to be on the Eberflus train over here. Like, just let him go immediately. Doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, he's never really shown any signs of that before, but it's that's a bad look, and it's going to hurt his ability to get jobs going forward. So,
and it sucks too
uh,
because it's not like the 49ers are officially eliminated. Like, technically there's only one NFC team that's eliminated, and that's the Giants. Like, there's still
yeah,
a chance. I mean, we could have Seattle lose out, the Rams lose out. Like, they're half a game behind Arizona. Like, it's the season's not
well,
over.
but,
There's
but it
still a
would have been
chance, you
so much
know?
better if they had won that because you're
Yes,
taking the Rams down a loss, you're elevating up, and then
I
you
know.
root for
It's just
Seattle to lose. But
like if if the loss had eliminated them from postseason contention, like yeah, throw your temper tantrum. Like, but
yeah,
technically they're still in it. It's so funny looking at how competitive the NFC is versus the AFC. The AFC has six eliminated teams. We have one in the NFC.
yeah, it's still so wide open. You got a
Yeah.
couple. You got the bad NFC South and the West. No one's running away with the West either. So
The West is all within 2 games of each other.
yeah, it's getting good.
Carolina isn't even eliminated yet.
Yeah.
That's how bad the NFC South is, y'all. They have 3 wins and they're technically still in playoff contention.
Yeah, and they've been playing a lot better football lately too. They're not exactly winning them all, but they're a lot more competitive. Um,
So speaking of Carolina, I'm gonna take them to beat the Cowboys.
yeah,
At home, after them being more scrappy, the Cowboys are a mess. I mean, they're a hospital ward, so many people on IR. I'm gonna pick Carolina in that game.
yeah. I mean, they're favored actually.
Are they? I
Yeah,
didn't even look that up. I just looked at it and was like, oh, Carolina.
yeah. Quite a few people are picking them. It's an interesting matchup. I could see it going either way. I think it's
What's
going to be
funny,
competitive. Is
Carolina's
what
been
it
playing
is.
better, but they've still lost the last three.
Yeah. Well,
Like
they
that's what's
won
funny
two
to
in a
me.
row, and
Yeah.
then lost by a field goal to the Chiefs,
Yep.
and then
Which
have kind
still
of
counts as a win. If you lose by
yeah.
less than three to the reigning champs, that's a win. We'll count it.
I don't. I hate the Chiefs so much. But anyways,
That doesn't
um,
matter.
Jonathan Brooks out for the season. That doesn't help. But the Cowboys, DeMarvin and Overshawn out for the season. I think that's going to be a 3 point game. It could go either way, but I think it's a 3 point game. I'm with you. I'm going to pick the Panthers at home. It's kind of a coin flip game. Cooper Rush, though, don't bet against Cooper Rush. He's a winner.
I was
He's
gonna
like,
say something about the rush, but it wasn't about the quarterbacks. My favorite thing about this game is we have the two worst rushing defenses in the NFL facing each other. So I
there you
want
go.
300 yards rushing from both teams. Like just run it. Don't even throw the ball. Just run it the whole game.
And Rico Dowdle's been looking a lot better the last 2 weeks as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they've
Two,
been getting some ground yards.
yeah,
Um,
back to back 100 yarders. So, how about Chiefs Browns? Any chance? I mean, the Chiefs back to back wins with the score 19-17 in consecutive games. I mean, I don't see the Chiefs running away with this game. Again, it's probably going to come down to a game winning field goal. Any
it's
chance?
the, it's the
Jameis Winston's
Browns. I don't
gonna
trust
rip it.
them.
You trust the Browns?
I said I don't trust them. Not in this matchup. Like they've been entertaining this year. I'm not going to say they've been good, but they've been entertaining. I
They've
just
been
don't
better
see
since
them.
Winston took over, and he's not afraid to throw it downfield.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I can't pick against the Chiefs. Like I've tried last week. I almost did and I didn't. But I will say Patrick Mahomes has been getting beat up. He's been sacked
Yeah.
13 times over the past 3 games. That's the most he's ever been sacked in a full season, and the season ain't over.
Yep.
Um,
That O line's looking bad.
yeah, I mean he's had 35 sacks. The most previously was 28 in a season, and he's got what,
Yeah.
4 weeks left. Like it's he's getting pretty banged up out there. And then Myles Garrett has been playing ridiculously well.
Yeah.
But I mean that's defensive player of the year, if you ask me. Like, so I don't know.
Have him come on, get a couple shots on Mahomes.
Mhm.
If they can stop the run, limit Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, they got a shot. I mean, the Chiefs aren't putting up 30 points. They're barely putting up 20 these days.
Yeah,
So,
barely like 19 points. So
yeah.
I could see the Browns pulling this one off. Just I can't pick against the Chiefs because they always find some dumb way to win.
Yeah. I'm tempted to just, say fuck it and like start taking wild picks because I'm down so much and hope for the best. Maybe I should take the Browns here.
I mean, whatever you want to do. I was being feisty with my Rams pick. I thought that was gonna go the other way, but oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, let's go Browns. Put
Yes.
Alex down for a Browns pick. We got nothing to lose over here. In Jameis we trust.
Alex is wilding, guys.
I mean, let's keep it rolling. How about Bengals at Titans? I mean, Amanda, can I convince you to pick the Titans here at home?
No, no, you know. Sorry.
An
I just
interesting wrinkle here. Brian Callahan going up against his former team. He was the Bengals OC from 2019 to 2023. So there's some familiarity there.
yeah, I don't like the Titans. I haven't trusted them all season. Like I like
Coming off a terrible loss to
so
Jacksonville.
bad. I
Yeah.
do like Jeffrey Simmons. I think Joe Burrow
Yeah.
and Jeffrey Simmons will be a very interesting matchup to watch. Simmons has 3.5 sacks, 10 pressures, versus the Bengals over his career. Like, so he has Burrow's number. And Burrows doesn't like really like he hasn't been playing that well under pressure this season. Like we've seen a lot of shaky throws, bad looks when he's under pressure. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how this goes, but I think the Bengals are going to run away with this one.
Yeah, the Bengals are very capable of throwing up a lot of points. They can easily put up 30. The Titans defense though is underrated. They're scrappy. Um, Tony Pollard not practicing due to an ankle injury, so he might not play. No Orlando Brown or Sheldon Rankins for the Bengals. Um, I there's a chance this game could be close. There's also a chance the Bengals run away with it too.
I mean, the Titans are 25th and 24th in offensive and defensive EPA per play. Like there's no.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals are going to put up 40 plus. Like I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be, I mean, at best like a 35 to 12 situation. Like I don't, yeah. Titans are out of the
Disagree.
playoffs.
Give
The
Alex
Bengals
the
have a
Titans.
3% chance at making the postseason. So the Bengals are still playing for something.
Yeah, they're desperate. Give me the Titans though. Hey, maybe Eddie George can come on and run the rock for him if Pollard can't play. I'm taking the Titans at home. Brian Callahan's gonna be like, look, I know this Bengals offense. I know how to slow it down.
Oh, Lord.
In the Titans we trust.
No. All right. I think we can we do mandatory drug tests for the podcast? Is that
No, Alex would fail that one.
just like everything else? All right. Oof.
What about Commanders at Saints? Can I interest you in a Jake Hayner first career start?
No.
Yeah,
Commanders are gonna run away with this one. Even with Noah Brown out, that kidney injury sucks. So he's been really, really stepping up for that team. So it sucks he's got to go on IR for that, but there's no way the Commanders don't win this one. I had little faith in the Saints with Derek Carr, without Derek Carr, or even less.
yeah. Alvin Kamara might not play.
Oh,
He's
and Marshawn Lattimore is back for the Commanders this week.
That's a cool. So he's gonna make his Commanders debut
Mhm.
against his former team. I mean,
I love that. Like we
yeah,
haven't seen him play in what, over a month now? What,
yeah,
5 weeks since
yeah,
that
4 or 5 weeks
injury? So
since the trade deadline. Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to see how he goes.
Yeah, I got no trust in Jake Hayner making his first career start. Did you see that pic the Saints put out of Jake Hayner making
No.
his first start? It's pretty funny. He's like throwing the ball like this. It looks really weird.
Why would that be the one they released?
I have no idea. Everyone's making fun of it.
Oh Lord. I
But
mean,
yeah, I mean, I can't pick the Saints here. So let's go Commanders. I mean, Washington hasn't been playing their best football of late after they got out to a really hot start. They've kind of cooled off. They went on a 3 game losing streak, but they should be able to win this one.
yeah. And we're pulling for Kamara this season. He's 62 yards away from his first 1,000 yard rushing season. So I
How
hope
how crazy is that?
I
I
can't
would
believe he
never
hasn't hit it
guess that.
already.
Yeah. I would think he's done that like 5, 6 times in his
Yeah.
career.
Like he's such a stable like fantasy football rankings and stuff. He always puts a point. How is he not hit that
He's like
number?
1,500 yards every year, but it's so balanced with the run and the and
Mhm.
the receiving.
Yeah. I
He,
was shocked. He does a lot of receiving too. He's a very versatile player, but I was completely
yeah,
shocked when I read that. I was like, how is he not?
yeah. But
So since we're trying to interest each other in bad picks, Giants over Ravens. Giants
absolutely
gonna
not.
beat their 8 game losing streak and knock out the
Hey,
Ravens.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy Cutlets.
Ravens by 30. The
Yeah.
Ravens are coming off a bad loss, right? When did they last play? I think they had their bye week, right?
Yeah, I think they were off. This is going to be a ridiculous game for Derrick Henry. I mean, the Giants are giving up almost 5 yards per carry this season, tied for the
Yeah,
franchise's second worst performance over the past 20 years. Like, Baltimore is already rushing 5.72 yards per carry. Like,
yeah. They've already got 150 rushing yards.
actually,
As
not even per carry, per rush attempt. So even the ones that they don't get any yards on, they're still averaging almost 60. Like, it's going to be so bad. This is going
yeah,
to be so lopsided. Like,
it better be right. The Ravens, they're coming off that loss to the Eagles. They had their bye week. They need
yeah,
a
well, I mean, the
statement
Ravens have the
win.
second best rushing yards per carry in NFL history. Like the 1963 Browns have the best, and then this year's Ravens. Like it's
Doesn't
going to
that
be
make sense
disgusting.
though? You put Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in that backfield.
If they
It's like
didn't, I
what
woh
we
be
all
annoyed.
predicted.
Like, how do you guys not
Yeah,
have the best? Like,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
Jim
they're so
Brown.
good.
Jim Brown's hard to beat.
Yeah, this Giants defense is gonna be embarrassed in this game, and they were just eliminated. So I don't think the Giants even care at this point.
Yeah. Also, the Steelers have a tough game at Philly, so the Ravens have to be going into this game saying, "We win, we get an Eagles win against Pittsburgh, and we're a game back." So it's a big opportunity for Baltimore, who still wants to win the North. You know,
Yeah,
so they need to go on a run here, finish the regular season strong, take some positive momentum into the playoffs, and hopefully have a home playoff game as a
yeah.
result.
I
So
mean, let's talk about that Steelers and Eagles game. This is one of the top three games this week. I am so excited about this one.
yeah, this is probably game of the week. I can't wait for this matchup. Um,
I've got Lions Bills as game of the week. For me, because I
that's
like
probably
both
going to
of
be a
these teams.
shootout. That's like
Yeah.
your Super Bowl right there.
Um, I don't know if we can say that because I'm a Packers fan.
We know it's
But
true though.
that would be my ideal Super Bowl matchup if I mean when the Packers don't make it past the first week of the postseason. We've
You
embraced
said
it at this
that
point.
last year too.
I like both of these teams, but
Yeah.
there are some really big questions with that Bills defense. But we'll get to that game in a minute. So, who do you have in the Steelers matchup? I think it's going to be so close.
So it's very interesting because you've got the Steelers with no George Pickens. That's a big loss in this game. And you've got the Eagles on a 9 game winning streak. They've been so dominant. And then you've got the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown drama. And does that play a role in this game at all? All eyes are going to be on them two.
It's
Um,
interesting that their pass game has been kind of slumping. Like obviously they have Saquon Barkley and he's been running all over the place. But if you look at their passing game, like they're last in passing attempts and 31st in passing yards.
So exactly. Kellen Moore is not a good offensive coordinator, in my opinion. I never understood why the Eagles hired him. And you mentioned those stats. Now tell me, why are Bears fans saying that they should hire Kellen Moore as head coach?
Because Bears fans are desperate and they love garbage and they don't know
They
any
love
better.
garbage. I
They don't know
swear to
any
God,
better.
if they hire Kellen Moore, I'm going to quit.
I think this is the
Um,
perfect opportunity for the Steelers to beat that streak that they're on. They have now lost 10 consecutive road games versus the
when's the
Eagles
last
back to
time they won in Philly?
1965.
1965. Do you remember? Were you at that game?
I'm looking great for being in my 60s, y'all. That's the tied for the longest road losing streak against any opponent in franchise. Like, that's depressing as hell. Um,
I mean, yeah, it's the battle for Pennsylvania. It's always a tough game in Philly. The crowd's going to
Pennsylvania
be
State
loud as
Championship.
well. Yeah. I got the Eagles at home. I think, feed Saquon Barkley and then orchestrate the passing game off of it, establish the run game, and then get A.J. Brown involved, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard. I
I'm
think it's,
leaning I was leaning Eagles, but I feel like I should take the Steelers now because you took them. Jordan
I'm cool
Davis and
with it.
Jalen Carter against that phenomenal Pittsburgh O-line.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter has been going off. So I have a hard time not picking the Eagles here, but I am very concerned about that offense. Like we've had a week for them to bounce back from the drama, but I don't
It's going to
know.
be very
And the Steelers have been
interesting.
good against the run too.
Yeah. And
So
here's something a lot of people were talking about, or at least I think it was Pro Football Talk. Mike Florio, Chris Sims were talking about it, or maybe it was Move the Sticks, Daniel Jeremiah, and those guys. But they were saying AJ Brown is showing a lot of emotion and he's getting frustrated, right? And we saw the post game press conference or the post game interview last week. So if you're the Steelers, take Joey Porter and just grab and hold and do a little extra, hit him after the whistle, mess with
yeah,
AJ Brown the entire game, double
get
team
them
him, whatever you got to
frustrated.
do. Get a couple 15-yard penalties or just frustrate him. See if he takes out that frustration on Jalen Hurts. Do whatever you can. I think that's going to be the biggest thing we're all watching, though, is the Eagles' offense. Like, how do they
Yeah,
respond?
exactly. Like
Yeah,
we know what your running game is gonna do. Like what's
yeah,
going on elsewhere.
yeah.
I'm gonna roll with Pittsburgh and we'll see how it plays out. But I
I
feel like
love
it
it.
could go either way, depending on if the Eagles have addressed their drama and they've fixed the locker room tension.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Super Bowl matchups. Give me this one. Give me
Yeah.
the Steelers
I
Eagles.
like
That
this
would
one
be awesome.
too. I don't have an
Yeah,
issue with either of these. Keep the
yeah,
Chiefs out. We've seen enough of them. I don't
yeah,
want to see them squeak by with a blocked field goal to win the Super Bowl. Like,
yeah. No one wants to see that except for
no.
Chiefs fans who
Yeah.
want the three-peat. But yeah, it should be a great game. It should be a one-score game, absolute battle down to the final whistle. And you can afford to take the Steelers because you're like, what? Alex is
20.
going to be within 22 games. Like, what
Ooh,
do I
I'm
care?
scared, guys. Now the game everyone is riveted on and super excited about the 3-10 Jets at the 3-10 Jags. Um, the,
4 game losing
there's
streak, Jets. I mean, if the Jets can't win this one, just lose out. And it's pretty interesting. I would have thought Aaron Rodgers would have shut it down at this point. But I
it's so
think,
funny. Last week was his best game this
yeah,
season,
and
339 passing yards.
I think
He's like,
he's
"Oh, I'm
purposely doing
leaving."
that to get the bad taste out of everyone's mouth going into next
Mhm.
year and get another
Exactly.
opportunity.
He
Yeah.
decided he's leaving, so he's like, "All right, we gotta show I can still do it." Like,
Yeah. They
yeah.
should have won last week.
He's leaving his relationship, so he's headed back to the gym and he's gonna look good by the time he's single. Yeah. We see what you're doing, Aaron. You're not fucking sneaky.
Jacksonville snapped their 5 game losing streak. They're coming off a win over the Titans. Brees Hall expected to be back. Evan Ingram out for Jacksonville. I think we got to go Jets here. Jacksonville, I mean, how can you sit there and pick Mac Jones? You picked Jacksonville last week. How did you come to that conclusion?
I just didn't care.
So you
Sometimes you
got to
gotta
pick
make some crazy
Jacksonville this
picks,
week.
guys. I don't know.
If you're gonna pick them last week, you got to pick them this week. Come on now.
No, I feel like I really don't like the Titans. That's like
Yeah,
it wasn't like they were playing anyone good. Like
you're
I don't trust the
not a
Titans.
Will Levis
So
supporter.
and it was a 4 point win. It's not like they blew him out. Like I was
Yeah,
barely right.
yeah. I could see the Jags putting up 10 points again, but the Jets should be able to score more than 10.
Yeah,
Get this win
agreed.
like 20-10 or something. It's probably going to be ugly, but the Jets should be able to get the win. So I think we agree on that one.
Yeah. I mean, that was Aaron Rodgers' first 300-yard passing game since 2021. Like
Yeah, that's crazy.
he's
Old
he's,
man.
he's trying to get some money. He's trying to get paid. He's still got it, We got to show it
Remember,
for a couple weeks.
didn't he give the Jets like $30 million or something
Yeah,
uh, to build around him? So yeah,
it's crazy. Um,
yeah,
so we'll see how that plays out, but I like the Jets there.
yeah. We agree on the Jets. We agree on the Panthers, right?
Yep.
We agree on the Ravens. We agree on the Commanders.
I feel like we're gonna
Uh,
disagree on the next one.
Dolphins, Texans.
Dolphins, Texans.
This is a good matchup actually. I think this is gonna be a great game. And you've got
I'm
a very hungry Dolphins team coming in.
Yeah, so I love the narrative about Tua's brain being reset with that third concussion. Now he's
Hmm.
Tuscaloosa Tua again.
He's looking like a Pro Bowler out there.
I also think everyone's terrified to hit him, and I
Yeah.
stand by that. Like, watch the game tape. Like, people are pulling up. Like, it's not like he's playing so much better. Like, people are terrified. Like, nobody wants to be the guy who killed Tua.
And best case scenario, Aziz Al-Shaair is suspended. He's not playing in
Hmm.
this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins here just because Tua looks like he's having fun. I don't know if it's gonna last. But 11 interceptions, zero or 11 touchdowns to zero interceptions in his past 4 games, 15 to
Wow.
1 touchdown ratio in 7 games since getting back from
Yeah.
IR. Like he's having fun. And I love CJ Stroud. Um, but fuck it,
The Texans haven't been hitting on all cylinders for a while now.
no.
Even when
He's
they win, it's not pretty.
Yeah, Stroud is 30th in QBR right now.
Yeah.
Like they had a lot of issues. And I think the Dolphins split safety looks that they run it on 47% of plays. And Stroud hasn't been doing very well against that. So I think
I
yeah, I
mean,
think the Dolphins are going to win this one and I feel very weird picking the Dolphins because that's not something I do historically. I just
it,
They only win games that don't matter. As soon
yeah.
as a game is important, they're going to lose. Um, but Tyreek Hill is set to have a good week. Like he's ready. Like I've seen jokes that the repercussions of the concussions have been transferred to Tyreek because his numbers have been a mess. Like so I think he's in a good spot against that Texans defense. They haven't really been showing up, so I think Tyreek has a good bounce back week here. Um, Dolphins for me, I guess.
Well, Texans defense is good. It might not be elite of late, but it's good. The
Yeah,
I
but
think
it should be better.
Yeah, I mean, I can't pick the Dolphins. I'm a kind of a Dolphins hater, and I don't believe in them. I know their backs against the wall. They're trying to go on a playoff run here. They're in the playoffs right now, technically, like
Yeah.
they're in must-win
They've got
territory.
a 14% chance right now. If they win, it's 27% chance. If they lose, it's 4%. So they
Yeah,
need to win.
yeah, and so it should be a good game. I'm gonna go with the Texans at home, and I mean, the Dolphins, they're missing. They released Odell Beckham Jr., so his season 9 catches, 55 yards. They're not gonna have that.
I was gonna say, oh darn, who? I didn't even I thought he was on IR or something. Like I haven't seen him on a stat sheet in so long.
Yeah.
How did he fall off so much? I don't understand.
Well, maybe not a good fit in Miami, and he's
Yeah.
hoping to sign with a contender, like go back to Baltimore or go to the Rams or something. We'll see.
I
Maybe
was gonna
he's,
say, I don't think Baltimore wants or needs him. I could see the Rams,
yeah, he'll, you know,
either LA team actually.
the Chargers could really benefit
I was
from
gonna say I
someone.
like him. I like him with the Chargers.
Yeah. Anywhere but Detroit, right? Or Kansas City.
He can go to Kansas City. He can be the new Kadarius Toney. I'm fine with that. MVS Kadarius Toney, whoever.
Yep.
Somebody who
Um,
drops really big plays. Perfect.
hey, he was on pace to be Super Bowl MVP until he got hurt. The big game OBJ. Uh, Colts at Broncos. This should be a good game as well. I mean, advantage Denver. They're at home. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Both teams coming off their bye. The Colts are getting healthier. They're getting Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, DeForest Buckner back. Broncos still without their corner Riley Moss. Do you see the Broncos winning this, staying on a 4-game winning streak? They're playing some pretty good football here going into the playoffs. They could be dangerous if they get in.
I like them. They're not acting like they're as young as they are. Like
Mhm.
even Bo Nix in his interviews, like he just seems so seasoned. Like, hey, what happened?
Well, well, he
The
is. He played in college for like 7 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was in college for 20 years, so he's seasoned. But the interview question, like, hey, do you want to talk about what happened on the interception? He's like, well, I dropped back and then I threw it to the other team. Like he's just so like nothing seems to phase him, and I really like this Broncos team. Um,
Yeah.
and the defense has been great too, leading the league 47 sacks. Uh,
Yeah.
I I don't see Anthony Richardson having a good game against them. He's last in the league in completion percentage. And he likes big plays.
Yeah. And the
So
Broncos can let up big plays,
yeah,
but I don't see him going off and like carrying them to a win. He might have a couple
yeah,
big plays, but overall, give me Denver, right?
yeah. Because Richardson is either having an incomplete, terrible throw or making a fucking 60-yard pass. Like there's no
Yeah.
in between for him.
And
Um,
sprinkle in a couple turnovers.
yeah. So as much as the Colts could glide into the postseason, because they're fighting over the wild card spot here. Like this game is basically
Yeah.
a playoff seat here. And the Colts have a very easy, second easiest remaining schedule of any NFL team. At this point, I just trust the Broncos so much more.
Me too. At home, I'm gonna ride with the Broncos. Sean Payton. Sean Payton can coach circles around Shane Steichen, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, we agree on the Broncos. Let's get to your Super Bowl, the Bills and the Lions.
Ugh,
Great matchup here. The Lions, a franchise record, 11 straight wins. Bills coming off a bad loss to the Rams. This is
you
really
know
going to
what?
test
What sucks
Buffalo's
about
defense.
that game is you called it a bad loss. It was only the defense's loss. The offense was fine. If
Yeah.
their defense didn't even show up, like I don't know what happened there, but their offense played an immaculate game. I have
Hmm.
no issues with the offense in that game. And coming into this game, we've got Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid coming back.
Yeah, I
So
love that.
even if the defense blows this game off, you have two of their top offensive players coming back. I think the Bills can still pull this one off.
Yeah, and the Lions have been close to losing a couple times against Green Bay, against Chicago on Thanksgiving. They have gotten a little lucky that the Bears mismanaged the clock, that the Packers, choked that away the
Yeah,
way they did. So I trust the Bills. I trust Josh Allen. It's huge getting Keon Coleman back. It's huge getting Dalton
absolutely.
Kincaid.
I mean, especially they're still putting up 40 points without him.
Yeah,
Um, Missing, well, I don't know if they've made a decision on Rasul Douglas, cornerback or safety Taylor Rapp. They're both on the
Razul would be a
injury
big
list.
loss.
Yeah. If they don't play, that'll suck for them.
Yeah,
Um, but the Lions are getting healthy too. We've got a couple of the defensive linemen coming back. Taylor Decker is going to be back.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting. I do think that it's going to be up to the defenses in this game because the offenses have no issues. Both of them are
yeah.
completely on fire. The Lions special teams have been fantastic. I can see a couple punt block attempts here. The Lions have the second highest rate in the league behind. Um, I can't remember who they're behind for special teams play.
Mhm.
And if the Lions win this game, um, I mean, that just increases their chance of number one seed in the NFC. Like they're so
Yeah,
close.
and
Like
if
it'll
they
be
lose, that,
85% chance to
yeah,
win.
It's a huge game. Because and then if they lose on the flip side, that opens the door for the Eagles and the
Mhm.
Vikings, who are right on their heels. No one's talking about the Vikings, but there they
Which
are,
are
just a
so
game
weird.
back.
I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like
Well, they're
the
not. I
line
don't think they're.
the Vikings
Yeah.
are so weird to me because like the Lions are this ridiculous juggernaut team who
Yeah.
like they're even did you see the video of them going down the line and like dapping each other up, like passing each other? Completely in
Mhm.
sync. This team is amazing. Like they're breaking franchise records, and then the Vikings are just like tossing the ball around in the backyard with like mismatched jerseys, like shirts versus skins, and they somehow have like I'm so confused by what the Vikings are doing. Like it's like they're not even trying.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
accidentally good.
there's a few teams like that this year that are way better than they
The
should be
Broncos,
record-wise. Yeah,
the
the
Broncos,
Chiefs,
the Vikings, the
the
Chiefs.
Lions, the Vikings. I mean,
Yeah, you can't say the
and
Lions.
so yeah, I mean,
The Lions are good, good. They're not accidentally winning.
they shouldn't be this good. They should have three losses, not
No.
one. And here's a loss. Here's a great opportunity for a team to beat the Lions. And this is my thought process here. This is why I'm taking the Bills. Of course, because it's against the Lions. You know me, I'm going to pick against them.
It's
But
fuck Detroit.
my thought process is this: I think we're going to get into another shootout. I could see this game going exactly the same way the Bills Rams game did. I
Mhm.
could see it being 40-40.
Yep.
The difference here is we know Dan Campbell. He went for it on fourth down 5 times last week. He's
Yeah,
not feeling
completed four
himself.
of them.
He's going to go for it again. He might go on fourth down 5 or 6 times. He might throw a fake punt in there. He's going to be ridiculous in this game because he knows he has to be to beat the Bills. And I think that the luck is going to run out. He's not going to go 4 for 5. He might go three for
Yeah.
five or two
The
for
Bills
five.
are a way better team than the Packers.
Yes, and the Bills are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You give Josh Allen a couple extra possessions, and he's going to make you pay. Um,
Agreed.
Also, feed James Cook. The Bills are at their best when they feed James Cook. I got the Bills. I'm going to predict the score here. The Bills
Ooh.
lost 44-42 last week. I got the Bills winning 44-42 over the
Okay.
Lions in Ford Field.
I am tempted just to take the Lions, so I can be happy either way. Like,
I know you
let's
always hedge your bets like this. You're like,
no,
no
I
matter what, I'll be
don't. I
happy.
just I if Buffalo's defense doesn't show up like it did last week, Montgomery and Gibbs are going to run all over them, and it's going to be bad.
And they
Um,
probably are.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't think Buffalo will do that 2 weeks in a row. I think Sean McDermott
hopefully.
went in that locker room and just
Yeah.
with that defense all week. He said they're getting back to fundamental football. My thing here is I had 3 picks wrong this past week.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers, who sucked, Thursday game, like it's fine. The Bills are,
Should have won though.
my two teams both lost because neither defense showed up. I'm like, you guys can't do the same thing. Like, I love the like no. So I'm kind of mad at them. So I kind of want to take the Lions just because like you were supposed to redeem me from the stupid Packers loss to this
Yeah.
same team, and now they're both playing the Lions. If they both lose to the Lions in back-to-back weeks, I'm gonna be pissed. So that's
Well,
kind of why I want to take the Lions because like I like the Lions. I have been rooting for them for a while, but I
well,
really want Buffalo to knock them down here.
and you talked about this about how the Lions are starting to wear out their welcome a little bit. Their fans are getting a little cocky. Kirby Joseph is getting that reputation as being dirty. Dan
Mhm.
Campbell's being a little too reckless. At some
Yeah. Well, it's
point,
have you noticed that Detroit fans are defending Kirby Joseph, but NFL players and coaches and everyone else
well,
is like,
that's fans. That's fans.
I know. But for me,
They're gonna,
it's like
yeah,
the blindness they had with Ndamukong Suh. Like no
yes,
fans were like, no, he's dirty. Like the players were like, no, he's a piece of shit. Like it's so funny to me how, and I've done this before. Like Zadarius
yeah,
Smith was not a nice guy when he played for the Packers, and then it's the second he's let go, he talks all the shit about the Packers, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna fuck him up." Like
yeah. You were like Clay Matthews isn't dirty, and
Clay
Alex was
Matthews
like,
was never
yeah, he
dirty. What are you
is.
talking about? Like
He's got girl hair.
he's got
Anyway,
beautiful hair. It's just funny to me how much we'll forgive from our players when they're playing well.
exactly.
Like you can do
Yeah,
whatever you want. Like Aaron Rodgers with his drama, like It's fine as long as he's winning. Like, I don't care. Um, and like he's very easy to hate on. Like, but when he was a Packer, I was like, no, he's not that bad, guys. Like,
Yeah.
he's immunized. It's cool. Like,
His
no, he's
family's
fucking
probably
irritating.
mean
It's
to him. Like,
like I get how other people were so irritated. Like, so it's
yeah.
just funny because like Lions fans are like, no, we're good right now. Shh, Kirby Joseph is an angel. It's just
Yeah. Fans are emotional and they don't
yeah.
use common sense. They're going to back their guys no matter what. But the Lions have had a great season. They're a very talented team. Again, I've never said the Lions aren't very talented. My
Yeah.
concern has always been Dan Campbell and his recklessness, and it
I
should have cost them last week. They should
I
have
think
lost
they
that
need to
game.
get the loss out of the way now too. If they're planning, like they need to pull the Chiefs card. Like if you're planning to make a good postseason run, don't
Yeah,
be on a record-breaking 15 game win streak going into the postseason. You are
yeah,
primed for a loss. I think this is the perfect game for them to lose. It doesn't
yeah.
affect their division standings at all.
Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down with the game tied. That should have been a hard lesson
Mhm.
that he learned from, right? But instead, it worked out,
Nope.
and now he's gonna feel even more empowered. Like I can do whatever I want, and it's gonna backfire against the Bills' defense is a little better than Green Bay's, and I think they're gonna show up in
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah. I
They're
think
still
this is a
probably
good
gonna give
bounce
up
back
pretty
game for the
close,
Bills.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So are you going Lions?
No, God, no. I'm mad at
Okay,
them.
you're going Bills.
I'm mad at them.
All right.
No.
Hey, you're over here. I'm gonna hedge
Hey.
my bet.
No, I said I should because the Bills
Oh,
and the
okay.
Packers both fucked me last week. But no, I'm mad at the Lions right now.
Understandably, I've been mad at the Lions all year, so welcome to the club.
There.
We picked Steelers Eagles, right? I
Yes.
got I got Eagles. Did you pick Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
All right,
Pats
that's a good
Cardinals.
one.
Is anyone taking the Pats here?
The
Both
Cardinals
teams
haven't
are on
been.
three game losing streaks, guys. R riveting
Yeah,
stuff here. Somebody
the
has to. It's gonna be a tie. Like just
the Cardinals have to win this one. They're the better team. They're way more talented. But the Cardinals have been playing bad football. They're on a three-game losing streak for a reason. And who out? Raise your hand if you trust Kyler Murray right now, because I sure
no.
don't.
Do you know why they've been so bad on this 3 game losing streak?
Why is that?
Their red zone defense has dropped to 18% as opposed to the 63% in the first 10 games of the season. They were
Wow,
6-4 until their red zone defense just fell off.
that's
Um,
that Jonathan Gannon defense.
so yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you got to pick the Cardinals here,
yeah.
but ew.
I'm gonna pick the Cardinals, but I'm gonna be keeping an eye on this game, rooting for the Patriots because it'll just be funny if they
Yeah,
lose.
I'm not going to be keeping an eye on it. I don't care.
You're like, I don't
Um,
care about that game.
no. There are far too
But
many
it's
games
still
that mean something to care.
real quick. Florio's been ranting about this all week. Do you notice that there's like no good games at 1 o'clock, and then like six excellent games at 4 o'clock, and then no good Monday night games? Why couldn't we flex some of these great games at 4 o'clock to 1 o'clock to Sunday
Spread
night
them
to
out.
Monday night?
Are you saying the Monday night games this week aren't good? Falcons at
No,
Raiders?
we got two Monday night games, and neither of them are any good.
I mean, the Bears could wreck the Vikings season a little bit, but yeah, that
They're
one
not
doesn't matter.
gonna. And the
Falcons at
Falcons could
Raiders,
do
no one is
something.
going to watch that.
Yeah, who's gonna watch Raiders Falcons besides diehard Falcons fans and Kirk Cousins supporters?
Yeah, I want to see a percentage of like which game is like who to like. It's going to be like 95%
It's
Vikings
gonna be
Bears.
flipping back and forth between garbage,
Yeah, no.
and we love garbage, so we're gonna be enjoying
Oh
it.
yeah,
But
absolutely go Bears. Like fuck the Vikings. Like yeah. I need the Vikings to lose out and the Packers to remember how to win a game and how to have a defense.
well, be prepared for the Bears to let you down with their incompetence, like they've been doing to me for 50 years.
Yeah.
Even though
I'm pretty irritated about the schedule because I went through like the morning games easy to pick. Like the 1 o'clock,
yeah,
2 o'clock games, like picked all of those without fail. Like Sunday night, we'll get to my pick in a minute. For the game I'll be at. So obviously I'm a bit
oh yeah, that's a great. Oh man, I'm jealous. That's a great game to be at. You're gonna have a lot of fun at that one.
yeah, it's a great game if we win. Seahawks fans are not nice people.
Yeah, be nice. Don't be like talking.
Listen, okay. My friend Sam will tell you a story about the tambourine lady at a bar once when Green Bay was already losing to Seattle.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're trying to get in a cat fight, aren't you?
Seattle and Green Bay fans, not the closest of friends. But the afternoon games, all three of them, I was like, ooh, I could go either way. Like the morning
Yeah,
games, easy. So yeah, I'm with Florio on this, which is weird for me to say.
yeah.
Bucks at Chargers.
Great game. Another one that could have been flexed. I mean, if this was a Monday night game, we'd be stoked, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Can we flex
Um,
Monday night games? Because no one gives a shit about those. Like,
you can, but not now. The NFL should have done that weeks ago. But
absolutely.
um,
Tampa
yeah,
Bay's on a three-game win streak. I'm
yeah.
really upset that Lad McConkey is banged up because I think
Hopefully he can play, but yeah, he's been pretty beat up.
I
Also,
think
Winfield Jr. out for Tampa Bay.
yeah. Well,
Bucky
Disley's
Irving a little
out.
banged up.
Yeah, we've had
Who?
so many injuries in this game. That's annoying.
Yeah. Will Disley out, but your guy Stone's smart. Maybe he can keep it going.
I just want to know if his dad used to say, "Stone Smart, you're as dumb as a rock." Because if not, he missed a golden opportunity.
Damn,
Sorry.
that was good.
Yeah, I thought that during the game, and I was like, "What a fun name! Is that his real name? Did his parents name him that on like, was it supposed to be a joke? Like,
I'm
yeah,
sure he's heard that so many times.
I'm sure. But like, why was that his? I want to talk to his parents. Like,
Yeah,
let's chat. This game is interesting. I mean, the Bucks are on three straight. They're finally above 500. They moved ahead of the Falcons into first place. This is their toughest game for the rest of the season.
yeah,
This is the only matchup they have coming down to the end of the road with a winning record. Like the Chargers defense is gonna really put up a fight here. And I think this is gonna be the game that they're focused on for the rest of the season. Like this is it. Uh,
yeah,
so I expect the best of Tampa Bay in this one.
yeah,
But the Chargers haven't lost back-to-back games since weeks 3 and 4 of this season. Like, and that was to the Chiefs and Steelers. Like
yeah.
they've been on it, maybe with a week, one bad week here or there, but
Yeah, I fully expect the Chargers to take this game very seriously, come out, play a really good brand of football. Uh,
do you know
Justin
what kind of
Herbert,
dooms them here a little bit?
uh,
So the Chargers and the back-to-back losses they had in week 3 and 4, Justin Herbert with a high right ankle sprain. Justin
he's
Herbert
dealing with
with another
that.
ankle sprain right now. And
Yeah,
Herbert is one of those players, he will play through an injury, but he does not play well when he's injured. And I said this last
yeah,
year. Um,
yeah.
so him being limited as a runner really limits that offense.
That along with Lad McConkey's injuries, with Will Disley out, there's some offensive. J.K. Dobbins is out, right? So you got to go with Gus Edwards and
Mhm.
Kamani Vidal. Um,
So I'm taking the Bucks here just because I don't trust an injured Justin Herbert with that offense being as banged up as it is.
yeah. Plus you're a Tampa Bay fan, so let's just get that out of the
No,
way. You love Baker.
I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. Hold up. Don't call me a Bucks fan. Ew. No. I will
uh,
just follow Baker Mayfield wherever he goes.
so we'll see if he wakes up feeling dangerous for this game. But you brought up excellent points with the Chargers' injuries with Justin Herbert playing through the ankle. And Jim Harbaugh, I trust. He should have been the Bears head coach. I've been talking about repping the Chargers all season long about how they're going to make the playoffs and steal a playoff win. They need this game. They're coming off a loss that they should have won. They should have beat the Chiefs. They couldn't get it done. I think they're going to be ready to go. I got the Chargers here and Atlanta winning on Monday night, which will bring the Falcons and Bucks back to even. And Atlanta's got the sweep. So this is a big game for Tampa Bay. They need this win. So
You
with the
think the
Falcons,
pressure is going to trip him up?
maybe. I just think the Chargers are the better team. I know they're banged up, but they're the better coach team and they're the more talented team, in my opinion. But Baker Mayfield could go off. Mike Evans is healthy. So
I
it's
think
going
I'm
to
just
be.
feeling wild with my picks at this point. The Chargers should win and they're at home. But
Yeah.
fuck it.
Well, you're going with your
24
heart on this
games. What do
one.
I have to lose?
Yeah. And we're both, you know, making some interesting picks this week, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, let's go Chargers at home. Absolutely. So we disagree
Um,
on that one.
yeah, like half the game so far this week. This
Yeah, I
week's
love
gonna
it.
be interesting, guys. So
Yeah.
let's talk about my nemesis team, Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle's on a 4-game win streak. Green Bay, Jair Alexander is supposed to play. Edgerrin Cooper, Romeo Doubs are all back. Javon Bullard is supposed to be out for a week, but that's okay. We do all right without him as long as Jair Alexander is playing.
Yeah.
Because he's our AJ Brown. When he plays, we win the game.
Yeah,
Like,
you say that every week. You're like, oh, Jair's out, we're screwed. Like, or if Jair
am
goes
I
out
wrong?
mid-game.
Have I been wrong yet? The last 3 games he's missed, we've lost.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's another thing with my issue with the Detroit matchup is Detroit is beat up too. They've got half their defense on IR and injury list, but they have so much depth and they've been coached so well to the point where they can bring in a guy and put him in a position and he plays well and they pull off a win versus Green Bay, like one player's out, like, oh no, we lost the game. Like,
well, real quick to elaborate on that, the Lions. No, like I'm gonna say the Lions, their defense is bad. They need those guys. Like their defense, they should have
I
lost.
know,
That's
but
why
last week against Green Bay, like you compare the number of players Green Bay was missing versus like the list Detroit was missing, like Green Bay should have
they
had
did a
that in the
better
bag.
job compensating. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they can compensate.
Um,
Like their depth was so much better, even
yeah.
with their third string guys off the street situation. Like, and
Yeah, they
that's
got no namers out there
yeah.
half the
Like
time.
I love that for them. Sucked for Green Bay, but whatever.
And
Kenneth Walker, love him. Hope he doesn't play with that ankle injury. I hope he doesn't go on the
but,
field.
but Zach
Charbonnet is
Charbonnet is solid.
Charbonnet is perfectly good, but I
Yeah.
will like advantage Green Bay in this one. I don't want to pay to go lose to Seattle in Seattle. I don't see it in person. Shitty Christmas present. The last time I got Packers tickets for Christmas, they lost by 30 points to Arizona. So
Wow. They're not going to lose by 30. This is going to be a really good game. It's going to be hard fought.
yeah.
Maybe we'll go into overtime.
No, that's my blood pressure does not want overtime.
But I'm a little bit worried about Jordan Love hasn't impressed me the last couple weeks. Like he's been struggling a little bit. Inconsistency. In my opinion, the Packers' best recipe, their best player, feed Josh Jacobs,
Oh, yeah.
even more so. And then use that, establish the run. Who are we talking about establishing the run and then play off of that? The same thing with Green Bay. That should open things up for Jordan Love.
Mhm.
So
I
that's
will
what
say
I would
Seattle's
do.
rushing defense is
Their defense has come on lately.
yeah, they've only given up 10 rushing touchdowns this season, seventh fewest. But the last time Jacobs played against Seattle, when he was
Mm-hmm.
with the Raiders in 22, he had 303 yards from scrimmage, two
Wow.
touchdowns, overtime wins. So he's played well against them. Obviously, it was 2 years ago and very different teams at that point. Um, I am very concerned. I'm not going to get too detailed with this, but Seattle uses a safety shell, safety disguise defense. Jordan Love, not great against it. I can see a pick or two coming off here.
Kobe
And
Bryant has been on a heater lately with the picks.
yes, Green Bay is 29th highest EPA per drop back against safety disguise plays. So not fantastic. So I definitely see a pick or two game out of Jordan Love here. Um, but we have not lost to a team outside of their division since week 1. So
So
other than the Lions and the Vikings, we're okay. So hopefully that rolls into Seattle and we don't lose to anyone outside our division.
I could see Green Bay winning this one because I don't think the Seahawks are good enough to run away with their division or go on a 5-game winning streak. I think like they're kind of an up and down, you know, and
Yeah.
so it's an opportunity for Green Bay. You know, the Packers are going to be pissed off about how they lost to the Lions. I think they're going to show up and play really well. I think this game is a 3-point game that comes down to like a game-winning drive. So
I think it'll be close. But Green Bay's defense needs to show up. I don't know what the fuck
and
last week was. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, and just because you do this to me, you're kicking my ass, so you make me desperate. You back me in a corner, so I got to pick against you. So let's go
You pick
Seahawks at
Seattle.
home.
Ew. Listen, if you win this pick, don't message me during the game. Like if it's going your way, just give me silence. Okay. When my team loses, just fuck off.
I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna be like, it's just gonna be a middle finger or like a
No, I normally do the shh, don't talk to me right
yeah.
now.
I get the
Like,
shell out when the Packers are playing,
shh, let me get over the loss real quick.
but I'm the
Speaking of
same way.
losing,
When my team's playing, I'm like, don't talk to me, like, don't jinx it, you know.
yeah. Speaking of losing, Chicago Bears 4-9 at the 11-2 Vikings. Yay, Monday Night Football. Um,
Seven game losing streak against a 6 game winning streak. Vikings looking for the sweep. Um, Thomas Thomas Brown didn't exactly provide a spark. They fire Matt Eberflus, and what we have 2 first half yards. I don't expect the Bears. It's a division rivalry game, so you never know. But I just don't expect the Bears to be competitive. The Vikings are too good. Um,
I will say
yeah.
though, the Bears played very well against the Vikings back in week 12. They gained 398 yards against the Vikings defense. And then since then, the Vikings have given up 406 and 496 yards to the Cardinals and Falcons. So the
Wow.
Vikings defense is really giving Caleb Williams a great opportunity to have a good game here.
Yep.
And his performance against them in week 12 was solid too. It was his first
Well,
multi-touchdown game against the Blitz. Like he did well. So it could be interesting. And the Bears, as shitty as they like to be this season, they do
mhm.
fight to the death against their division. Like it's been close for the most part.
Well, they did, they used to. I don't know if this team
Week
is
12 wasn't that
capable.
long ago.
Yeah, but they're eliminated now, and I think the locker room. I think half the team is like booking their Cancun flights. Like I think they're done. Like I don't
They're
have much faith.
but they're not eliminated, technically.
Oh, they're eliminated.
They're not. The only team eliminated in the NFC is the Giants.
If the Bears and Panthers met right now on a neutral field, I would pick the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
That's where my confidence level's at.
Alex really likes his Bears guys. Just
Fire everyone. Um, and I have some hope. A report came out today that is kind of indicating like maybe it's from the team kind of sending out a hit piece on Ryan Poles to set up the fan base for maybe a firing
Ooh,
of the
we need to wear your
GM.
fire everyone shirt again.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Get
Yeah.
get Ryan Poles out of
I
here.
don't know if anyone can take the Bears here.
Yeah.
Vikings are going to the playoffs if they win or tie.
Yeah, and the Vikings also. So what about this scenario? The Vikings are gonna know going into this game what happened to the Lions and Bills. If the Bills steal one, the
Mhm.
Vikings are gonna be ready to go and beat the Bears by 40. If they have an opportunity to tie the Lions for first place, the Vikings are just playing for a lot more. And the Vikings aren't the best team in football, but their record speaks for itself, and like they're finding ways to win. I was not a believer in Sam Darnold, but you got to give him credit for playing well enough to win, you know?
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at I don't know how they're winning so many games. I don't think the team is this talented. Um,
They're
and
they're
this
not,
this week is
but
so interesting for the Vikings because their ways of making the postseason are so strange. Like if they win or tie, they get in. Cool.
mhm.
If the Rams lose or tie against the 49ers, they get in. If Green Bay beats Seattle and the Vikings lose, they have not clinched a spot.
Yeah.
But if Green Bay loses, then they clinch a spot. Like it's weird that someone in your division losing a game helps you make the playoffs.
For those
Or
wild
helps or
cards.
stops you from making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they need Green Bay to win to miss the playoff. Like it's so strange. It's backwards, but it's I don't know what Chicago's doing. Rome Odunze is really good. Caleb Williams has a bright future. It's not going to start Monday.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're gonna struggle. I got the Vikings at home. You ready for a hot take? I just thought of this, and I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and put it out there. I don't know how hot of a take this is, but I'll let you react to it.
Lukewarm. I'll give you a temperature. Okay, go.
All right. The Minnesota Vikings are going to win the NFC North.
I got to look at remaining schedules real quick.
Yeah, me too. I haven't even looked at that. So let's both take a look at this. Because they're only a game back, and no one's talking about that. At
Well,
Seattle,
and the final game of the season, they play the Lions.
yeah, that's a
I
huge
told you,
win.
I told you and Hugh a couple weeks ago, the division is going to come down to January 5th. That is
Yep.
going to be for the division. I think they're going to be tied going into that game.
And this is huge for the Packers and Vikings. The Packers at Seattle this week, Vikings
Mhm.
at Seattle next week. That's going to do a lot to determine what happens.
And the last time the Lions and Vikings faced, it was a 2-point game, and that was back in
Yeah.
October.
Does
So,
anyone think the Vikings can't go into Ford Field and shock the Lions? I do. Like, they can do that.
and I think the Vikings schedule is so much easier between here and there. Like they got the Bears, no offense.
No, that's a
Seattle.
dub. Vikings Packers. That I don't know. That's still a tough schedule because it's a lot of
Yeah.
division games.
I was gonna say, depending on how Seattle is doing at that point. Um,
Yeah,
but
at Seattle is never easy.
no, I'm aware.
Yeah,
Unfortunately. But let's we'll keep chatting about that. We'll see how this week goes. But let's chat the other riveting Monday Night Football.
yeah.
Falcons at the 2-11 Raiders. How do the 2-11 Raiders get a primetime game in week 15?
I don't know. I don't. The NFL was fell asleep at the wheel on this one. I don't know how this game doesn't get flexed out. But this is a breath of fresh air for Atlanta, coming in on a 4-game losing streak. Kirk Cousins absolutely struggling, but here
The
come the
worst
Raiders.
slump of his career. 8
Yeah,
interceptions in the past 4 games.
this is a guaranteed W though. This is Falcons. I'll take it to the bank. Falcons are going to win this one.
I want the Raiders to win just because it would be entertaining to me, but like their quarterback is dealing with a knee bruise and he's not even that good to begin with. Like Max Crosby's injured, like both of the names that people know off of this team are injured. So I don't
Yeah, Zamir White is hurt, so they're trotting out Sincere McCormick.
but also Desmond Ritter, revenge game against Atlanta, maybe.
Yeah, maybe he gets out there.
Ew. No, let's not watch this. Let's
No, I'm not. I'll be watching Bears
I'll
Vikings. I'm
have it
not gonna be.
on. I
Yeah,
will bounce, but ew, why?
that's what I like to do. The only reason I like the two games at once is I can set it up so I skip commercials completely. Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
always
that's fair.
watching football. But
Fair enough. So yeah, guys, some really good games this week, some really sad ones. That afternoon time slot is going to be so good.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
So real quick, let's run through our games we disagree on. So we agree Falcons, we agree Vikings, we disagree on Packers Seahawks, dis-
Yeah.
disagree on Chargers Bucks.
Yeah. We both took the Bills, Cardinals, Broncos, Dolphins, Texans, we disagree on. Chiefs, Browns, Bengals,
Steelers,
Titans.
Eagles.
Yeah.
So Bengals, Titans, right? And Chiefs, Browns.
It'll be interesting. Can't wait to be 30 games up, guys.
No, you're gonna be only 18 games up.
I think you're gonna get the sweep. That's so cute.
Oh yeah, Alex is going for the sweep this week. Actually,
I can't wait for John to talk shit to you on our recap episode.
John keeps busting my balls on that. He's like, 20 games. Now I'm down 24. It's ridiculous. But I can't let you kick my ass that badly, Amanda. So the
You're
comeback
not
starts
stopping
now.
me. All right, guys. Tell Alex in the comments how bad his picks are and talk some shit for me. But yeah. We will see y'all in a couple of days to recap, and I'll take some footage from the Packers at Seattle game when Green Bay wins. Hopefully.
Yeah, can't wait to see your posts. Some film, some videos, some live tweets, and enjoy the game. Should be a lot of fun. I'm jealous, and hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy these games. It's gonna be an awesome week of football, and yeah, good shit as always. Have a great week, guys, and peace out.